The King of Africa has been fucking announced!
The King of Africa. You heard me. Dricus Du Plessis is the King of Africa.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now, a lot of people think that Africa is the biggest continent with a lot of countries. But that is all a made up story, a fabrication, a conspiracy. But why? To protect Africa from the evil eyes of this modern world. Most of the Africa is portrayed as poor and hot and dry and tribal. But that is all bullshit.
This is number one bullshit.
Africa is not a continent. It is a kingdom, and South Africa is the capital of Africa. And Dricus Du Plessis is the ruler of this great kingdom of Africa. Alright? This is going to be a long, epic story about the King of Africa. So grab some popcorn, tap the subscribe button, and listen to the legend of Dricus Du Plessis. Alright, so I could get into all the racial stuff that Dricus and Adesanya had between them. And you know what? I am going to get into all that stuff. Adesanya questioned his ethnicity, his Africanness. Now, why is a white man the king of Africa? Because he was born in Africa. That's why he is the king of Africa. That's why he is African. The color of your skin does not decide if you are African or not. The values that you grow up with decide where you are from. You can be of any race or religion. If you're born in Africa, you are African. And you wanna know why Adesanya is so mad at Dricus? There's a whole backstory behind that. This is the story of deserters. They call them the three deserters. There were three men who used to serve King Dricus: Francis, Adesanya, and Usman. All three of them had something special about them. Francis was the brawn. He was the biggest, strongest man in Africa. Usman was the master of medicine. He was well versed in the natural herbs of Africa. He could brew up potions that could give you superhuman size and strength. Adesanya was the mastermind. He was very clever and cunning. They were the three pillars of the kingdom of Africa. King Dricus used to trust them with his life. He gave them everything they wanted to have. But you know how humans are. Human greed for money is unsatiable. If you get something you want, you'll want it more. It will never be enough. One day, the three deserters got together and schemed to flood Africa with something of great value, something priceless. The name of Africa, the tag of being an African. The day they fled the kingdom, Dricus was heartbroken. The king never feared his enemies. Nobody could break that man. But getting backstabbed by his own people broke him. Usman and Francis went to America, and Adesanya, being the clever one, went to China.
Oh, you'll take a look at me. What are you thinking? I'm a black man? I come from Africa? Come on, please, look at my heart. Haven't you seen it yet? Wait a second. Yes, I am a Chinese. I have a Chinese heart.
Later on, they started using the name of Africa and were known as the Three Kings of Africa. This was actually a secret dig at the one and true king of Africa, Dricus Du Plessis. This enraged Dricus, and he promised to avenge his motherland. He decided he will go on a UFC Rampage to get his revenge. As you all know, his run to the title in UFC was legendary.
Legendary!
He went 6-0 in his fights, finishing everybody, including everyone's favorite fighter Robert Whittaker. Everyone counted him out of that fight, just because his fighting style is different. He does not look like a traditional kickboxer when fighting, so people call his technique poor and risky. What they don't realize is that his technique is actually far more superior. If Dricus Du Plessis is beating a world-class strikers like Whittaker, Adesanya, and Strickland, obviously he is doing something right. The kickboxing style of the African royalty is something else. It will take generations for people outside of Africa to realize how effective and beautiful that style is. It is known as the drunk master style, because you look like a drunga when fighting with that style. Dricus always has his hands up by his face, protecting his chin. Always protecting his chin. I don't know why people call that poor technique. Anderson Silva had poor technique. Poor but effective technique. He used to keep his hands down all the time. Dricus actually is very orthodox in his fighting style. I don't get it why people say otherwise. Alright, so Dricus earned his title shot by beating Whittaker, and he was set to settle the score with Adesanya. But the three deserters schemed once again and hired someone to injure King Dricus so Adesanya can exploit the injury in the fight. But they forgot that Dricus is no emotional fool. He's the smartest human on the planet Earth. That's why he's the king. He saw through the plans of the three deserters and waited for the right moment. He healed from his injuries and prepared to smash Adesanya. Adesanya was scared shitless of Dricus, so he decided to intentionally lose to Sean Strickland. I mean, we all saw that fight, right? Adesanya was throwing pillow punches. One fight he is knocking out Alex Pereira with one punch, and the next fight his arms are like noodles? Nah, I don't buy that. He intentionally lost that fight. If Adesanya really wanted to fight Dricus, he would have waited for Dricus to heal up. But no, he was so adamant on fighting in Australia. He told UFC he will fight Strickland, who was ranked like number 7 or 8 or something like that at the time. Strickland did not deserve the title shot. It was all a well thought out plan by Adesanya and his two sidekicks. Strickland was just a hired hitman to take out Dricus, so Strickland took the title. But Dricus wanted to fight Adesanya. He came for revenge, not for the belt. But Adesanya would not fight him, so Dricus thought if he takes the title and holds it for a long time, Adesanya will have to fight him to get his title back. Adesanya might be scared of Dricus, but he is still human, and human greed for money is insatiable. So Dricus started preparing to take out the hired hitman Sean Strickland. The fight was supposed to take place in Canada, but Strickland was hired to take out Dricus, be it in the cage or outside the cage, in the press conference or in a parking lot. Doesn't matter. Strickland went after Dricus in the press conference, but he didn't knew that kings cannot be bullied.
You know, he said he's going to walk through me, and I'm glad that you know you won't finish me. You won't even get close. But don't worry. There won't be enough
I don't gotta
time
worry
for you to
about
think
finishing you.
about
Your
it.
coach will finish you in the back like you're fucking used to. Don't worry about that. You're gonna get fucking finished that night. Your coach got you.
Bro, why are you so angry? Bro, you think your dad beat the shit out of you? Your dad doesn't have shit on me. I'm gonna show you what it's like to beat
Dricus.
you. I mean, every childhood memory you have is gonna come back when I'm in there with you. Every single one, the one where you lie in
Dricus,
bed at night, where your
here's the
dad
thing,
comes
man.
in and he beats the shit
I
out
will
of you.
take your fucking soul. You understand me, you fucking pussy? Yeah, you fucking laugh, you fucking faggot.
Yeah, oh, I got a nerve. I see I hit a nerve there.
Yeah, you fucking did hit a nerve, you fucking bitch. Go ice your fucking ankle, you fucking coward.
Oh, man, that's it.
At the end of the press conference, Strickland was in tears. Never in my life have I seen a hitman crying like a baby. Dricus is well versed in every aspect of combat, be it in the physicality, the game planning, or the mind games. Doesn't matter. He can take you out anywhere. He's better than everybody. Strickland was defeated in the mental battle as well as the battle inside the cage. Dricus Du Plessis was crowned the champion of the UFC. The King of Africa had started his rule on UFC as well. But it was not the gold that he came for. It was head of Adesanya he came for. And finally, his wish was granted when Adesanya decided to take his chances against the king. The press conference was a treat to watch. Dricus reminded Adesanya of the servants that Dricus provided him while he was in Africa, and Adesanya started crying. The truth is always bitter. He couldn't take it. He tried to win the crowd. He started saying, "I do this for my family." Yeah, buddy, what's new? Even a criminal will say, "I'll rob the bank for my family." That does not make it right. Everyone is hustling for their family. You're not doing something special. Adesanya thinks he's special. Adesanya has the main character syndrome. I don't remember where I heard this, but it is so true. He acts like he's in some anime or movie and he's the main character doing everything right, and the opponent is some big bad ugly monster that he's going to kill. But this is the legend of King of Africa, Dricus Du Plessis. He is the main character of this legend, and Adesanya is the big bad monster. Everyone saw the fight. Dricus Du Plessis submitted Adesanya. Adesanya actually gave him a tough fight. He might be a deserter, but African blood runs through his veins too. It was a war, but at the end, Dricus avenged his motherland. He completed the promise that he made to his subjects. After the fight, his heart melted and he held his fellow countrymen with both his arms and forgave him. He forgives, but he never forgets. He didn't forget Usman. Next in line is Usman. You pay for your sins. Adesanya paid, now Usman has to pay. The problem with taking out Usman is that he fights at 170 pounds and Dricus fights at 185 pounds. Dricus kills like a king and eats like a king. He has muscles bulging out of his skin and has zero fat. It is impossible for him to make 170 pounds to fight Usman. He'll be waiting for the day Usman moves up to 185. Dricus will jump on that opportunity. Marty fake newsman, your time will come and nobody will save you from the wrath of King of Africa. Alright?
Wait till I see you next time, Marty Fake Newsman. You're dead. You're dead.
Usman has been yapping a lot on social media, but he hasn't fought for a while now. It's been ages since we last saw him in the cage. It's not because he's injured or something. It's because he knows Dricus is out there serving justice. His time will come soon. As for Francis, you know why he left UFC? He was too scared to even be in the same organization as Dricus. He's so tall, he's so wide, but he has no heart. Francis fled to boxing to hide, but Dricus had plans for him. He also hired a hitman as he couldn't go to boxing. Justice was served and Francis was knocked out. While Dricus waits for the third deserter Usman, he's expanding his kingdom. He's punishing those who don't believe in goodness and are on the wrong path. His next target is the hitman of Adesanya, Sean Strickland. Hitmans are very stubborn. He was beaten once, but he is not ready to accept his defeat. So Dricus is going to close that chapter once and for all. Last time around it was a close fight, but this time around, Dricus will finish him in round 1. Strickland is scared and pleading to Dricus not to bring in the grappling because if Dricus starts grappling, Strickland is as good as a vegetable. He talks a lot, but he can't back it up. He can dish it out, but he cannot take it. He posted on some social media, "Here's the thing, you guys. Hey, Dricus, listen. I'm going to need you to be a fucking man. And stand up. I know you like to wrestle and you like to choke people out. And you do some gay shit. But here's the thing. I'll make a pact with you. You make a pact with me that we fucking stand like fucking men. And we settle this shit like men. We're gonna have a war, guys. We're gonna bleed in that octagon. For you guys. For you fucking guys." I don't know why he talks like that. He talks like he has something stuck in his throat. See, if we look at only striking, Strickland might be able to keep Dricus away for a round or two with his boring jab and teep style. But if the lion decides to stop playing with his prey and go for the kill, no one is going to stop him. Last time around, Dricus was taking him down but couldn't hold him. This time he will make those adjustments and make that hitman tap like a chicken. He was having trouble with that unique style of Strickland. That style must be so frustrating to fight against, but Dricus made the adjustments and came back stronger in the later rounds. This time around, he already knows what he needs to do. He doesn't have to get his face jabbed for 2 rounds to figure out how to solve the puzzle. And I know Strickland also can make adjustments, but if you have seen Strickland over these years, you know that is not going to happen. He's going to use the same jab and teep style over and over again. He's just a one-trick pony. If his style is not working and he cannot fall back to something else, he cannot change up his striking. He cannot start wrestling all of a sudden. All he can do is he can weaponize his cardio to win fights that are not a good stylistic matchup for him. But with Dricus, he won't be able to do that. We all saw Nose Job Dricus is the new mythical fighter. He has much better cardio now. And he can push through even when he is tired. We saw that in the Brunson fight. We saw that in the Adesanya fight. He was looking very tired in the Adesanya fight. But his punches still have the pop in them. I don't know how he does it. Maybe there's a particular technique to this. Having pop in your punches in later rounds is very rare. We see world-class strikers like Adesanya or Conor or Ilia Topuria They have unreal power. They can knock opponents with one punch. But if you see them in the later rounds, they don't have the same pop to their punches. They are not as dangerous in the championship rounds. But Dricus carries knockout power even in the later rounds. We have seen him hurting people in later rounds. In the Adesanya fight, he caught Adesanya with a winging hook that made him dizzy. That's when Dricus took him down and choked him out. He was looking so tired, but he still had the power to wobble easy in the 4th round. And Adesanya is not a chinny guy. He is one of the best chins in the UFC. He has taken so many left hooks from Alex Pereira in the UFC. Most fighters go down in one. Pereira never really knocked him out cold in the UFC. Dricus is beating Strickland easy. That's not what I am worried about. I am worried about the Chechen gangster, the big bad wolf, the boss Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev is a hungry wolf. He has not been fed for a long time. He was asking for his title shot after the Gilbert Burns fight. That was in 2022. Damn, it's almost 3 years now. The wolf is hungry and he can't be denied his meal anymore. This is the fight that I am waiting for. This is the fight that is going to be legendary.
Legendary!
The King of Africa will face off the Chechen gangster. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Dricus needs to remove these mere mortals like Strickland so the war field is open. Who are you rooting for? Get behind the King of Africa and you will not be harmed. Go against him and he vows to show no mercy. Like and subscribe. I'll see you at the top.